Good morning, campers. I'm going to make this short but sweet. The weather has gotten cold like you wouldn't believe. I was hiking in a t-shirt and shorts yesterday. Now I've got long pants, I've got my sock liners, I got my wool socks, I got my calf liners, or calf sleeves I should say, my gaiters. My feet are still numb, I can't feel my toes. Long pants on. I got my merino wool t-shirt on. I got my fleece on. I got my puffy jacket on. I got my wool beanie on. I got my wool hat on. I got my wool buff on over that. I've got my brush-tail possum gloves. And as soon as I finish shooting this clip, I'm going to put on my rain mitts as a windbreaker. It is bitter cold. It's got to be about 20 degrees. My fingers are going numb. I got to stop shooting here. I got 12.1 miles to Mollies Ridge Shelter. And there's a water situation. Water sources are getting few and far between. God, my hand is going numb. So I'm going to have to carry water at least 3 miles to the shelter. I just got to get moving, get my blood going, because everything's freezing cold. It's not good. Thank goodness I'm getting off trail tomorrow, going to a B&B. But the next 36 hours or so are going to be brutal. Just brutal. The only saving grace is I don't have much food left. I got 2 days of food. So I put my water bottles inside my backpack so they don't freeze solid, except for these two up here, because I can keep an eye on these guys and make sure they're not freezing solid. But, 20 degrees, I think it's going to get just a tad above freezing today. It's a high, maybe 35 if we're lucky. But I got to get moving now. So anyway, I'm off and running. Shouldn't be too tough of a day. Only 12.1 miles. It doesn't look like I have a lot of big uphill pushes. But I got to move because all my extremities are going numb right now. Okay, I'll check in later. All right, so this comment is mostly for my family. It's an inside joke, but I had to share it. I've just passed a hiker. You can see there's ice on the trees, on the plants, the leaves, the branches. Quite a bit actually. And I told the one hiker, I said, yeah, it's kind of beautiful up here. The ice. He goes, yeah, but I think it's just hoarfrost. Anyway, my mother and my sisters are cracking up right now. Hoarfrost. Inside family joke. Just had to share it. Somebody called my travel agent. This was not in the brochure. I want a voucher. I want a voucher for a different trip. I wasn't ready for this. What's happening? Richard? This will probably be my last video before I get to the campsite tonight, but I want to show you this sign down here. It says Mollies Ridge Shelter, which is where I'm going. 2.5. It's not 2.5, it's 3.1. Just yet another example of a sign that's completely off. I mean, that's off by over 20%. 0.6 of a mile. I mean, come on. I just checked it on the GPS. It's 3.1 miles. Anyway, this is the Russell Field Shelter. It's all right. I just had to hang my backpack on the bear cables, which are up in the tree over here, so I could go down and get water, which was 1/10 of a mile downhill. I got 2 liters of water. I still had 1.5 liters from the last place where I stayed, Derrick Shelter. So I got my pack. I had to get my rain mitts wet down there. And one of them leaked a little bit. My glove got a little wet on the fingertips. So not purely waterproof, the rain mitt. I have to get water because the place where I'm staying tonight doesn't have water. Another black mark for the Smokies. You built a shelter and there's no water there. Really smart. Good going, guys. Nice planning on your part. I'm glad my $20 is going to pay for, smart people to do the right thing. I can't wait to get out of the Smokies, to be honest with you. It's just been a suck fest. The shelters are, you know, I mean, would you want to sleep in that? Look at it. I mean, you can't even sit up if you're sleeping down there. You know, it's like sleeping on a slave ship or something. It's terrible. It is nice that they have this big overhang, though, and that they have an area to cook and eat, and that they put in some skylights so it's not quite as dismal in here. But it's just not a good sleeping arrangement. It's just, ugh. Anyway, I could go on and on about issues that I've had in the Smokies, and I will not be back anytime soon. I will tell you that right now. Tomorrow's my last day. I can't wait. I'll be hiking out of the Smokies, never to be seen again, I hope. So moving on to Mollies Ridge Shelter, 3.1 miles. There's one big uphill push. First it's downhill out of here for a little bit, and then there's one big uphill, then it's like a little down, a little up, and then I'm at the shelter. So it is 2:30 right now. I'm hoping to get there around 4. Give me plenty of time to set up camp, try to stay warm, heat up some water. My water bottle froze. It's in here. I bought water bottles on my chest. This is, I don't know if you can see that, that's slush, that's ice. See that? That's ice. See it? It's frozen. So, not a lot of water to drink on the way to the next shelter, but in any event, I'll be at least ahead of the REI group and a lot of other people. I don't think they're going to be able to push over 12 miles, 12.1 or whatever, because I was the first one out of camp. The REI group was still eating breakfast. A bunch of people were still in their tents at 8:30 because it was so cold. I'm sure they were just like, I'm not getting out of my tent. So I think this is as far as most of them are going to go. This is a 9-mile mark. I'm going another 3.1. So I'm off and running. I'm not going to take up my phone. My fingers are numb. I can't work the phone with numb fingers. I'm going to get there, get set up, and then maybe I'll shoot a little footage. I don't know what to expect. I expected to be the first one at the camp last night, and there were 10 people when I got there, and another 10 showed up, so who knows? You know, and 2 nights before, it was 3 of us, 3 people. And then the next night, there's 20 people, so I don't know. I don't know what to think. But I'm moving on, and I'll check in when I get there, okay? Yes, that's snow. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I hate to beat a dead horse, but believe it when people tell you things can turn very quickly out here on the Appalachian Trail. As you saw in yesterday's video, I was wearing t-shirt and shorts in the afternoon hiking. And today I have every stitch of clothing on that I have except for my sleep layer and my rain gear. I gotta keep my sleep layer clean and dry, and my rain gear is not really needed now, although I could throw on my rain jacket if I was worried about the wind, if this wasn't cutting the wind well enough. But yeah, so it's a fine snow that's falling right now. It's like salt. You can see it collecting in leaves. It's like a salt or like a fine white sand. It's not going to stick, I know that. But again, just drive home the point. You better come out here prepared. If you come out here, and I don't mean here by the Smokies, I mean the Appalachian Trail. Anytime between, say, October 1st and April 30th, you got to be prepared for anything. And even then, you saw from my video, first week of August in Maine, suddenly cold, wet, rainy, windy, nasty, hypothermia type weather in the first week of August. So, it sounds like exaggeration when people say, oh, you got to be, prepared and things could turn. And people go, yeah, okay, that's an anomaly. That's not going to happen. When I'm out there, I have seen this multiple times where one day it's one extreme, and the next day, boom, it turns on a dime. 180-degree change in the weather. It's just bizarre. But thankfully, I'm prepared. I've got a little over a mile, about 1.25 miles to go to the shelter. Making good time. It's about 20 after 3. So I should be there between 4:15. I'm going to keep pushing on now, and I'll check in when I get there.